Hey guys, welcome back. Halo Infinite Season 3 mid-season update just dropped, and with it comes 2 new cutscenes that open the Oni door and continue the live service story. Now, neither of these are pre-rendered cutscenes like we had last time. That seems like a bit of an anomaly. They're both in-game cutscenes, which means they include our Spartans, which is always pretty cool. And the cutscenes themselves are rather interesting in a whole load of ways. But first, let me give you a brief recap of the live service narrative so far to jog your memory a little bit. So, the story follows 2 Spartan 4 headhunters. The boss, Sigrid Eklund, who is a former UNSC Army Ranger who later became a Spartan 4, joining Fireteam Crimson, who we fought for during Spartan Ops in Halo 4, but was later reassigned under commands from June himself to become a headhunter. And Hugh Din, an ex-field analyst for Oni Section 3 who specialised in the capturing and repurposing of Covenant tech. So these 2 headhunters were scouting out a banished shipbreaking yard on the planet Camber, and during their infiltration of the site, a banished AI named Eratus got trapped in Din's armour, seizing control of his body. So, Eklund rushed him back to the Academy, which is a UNSC training site on an unknown hidden world, to be saved. And save Din, we did. We got Eratus out of Din's armour by playing multiplayer. No, I'm not kidding. It turned out the Banished were investigating an archive of some sort in this shipbreaking yard, but we've heard nothing else about this archive after the first Season 2 cutscene. While Din was unconscious with Eratus in his armour, the AI played back his hazy memories of Operation Interior Exile that he took part in early on in his career, where he and his squad inserted onto a desolate moon to inspect a dormant foreigner terraforming vessel. He and his team inserted during the day via Warthog, which was against Din's wishes to insert at night via Pelican, which he believed to be safer, and as a consequence, were ambushed by hordes of drones. Din witnessed almost his entire squad get massacred by the buggers, which was an event which scarred him for life. Once awake and healed, Din tells us that Eratus actually didn't care about him, but rather where he would go, i.e. the Academy, which Din says has memories of its own, which led to the final stinger reveal, the hidden Oni logo on the live fire door. Now before we jump into the breakdown, real quick shout out to my official line of Flood-themed PCs that I made in partnership with Apex Gaming PCs. Treat yourself to one of our powerful Pureform, Gravemind, or Primordial PCs. Just hit the link in the description and make sure you use code HIDDEN at checkout for up to $250 off your order. Right, so it's here with this mysterious door where the new story kicks off. It turns out that Din had also heard the creepy portal-esque noises behind the door, and with the help of yours truly, we managed to force the door open, revealing a seemingly infinite mineshaft that Oni used to bury its secrets beneath the Academy. So, you both jump down the shaft, with Din howling like a wolf as he does so. Now, I actually really like these cutscenes, but good god, I cringe so hard at that. That rather bewildering howl concludes the first cutscene, named Vault Lines, and the second cutscene, Unbound, opens with the 2 of you at the bottom of the shaft, the world illuminated by nothing but Din's flare, with an old mechanical door struggling to spring back into action, giving off this really creepy vibe to the facility. Really makes you wonder why Oni tried so hard to hide it away. The facility itself is a top-secret Oni Section 3 black site, full of Section 3 black magic, according to Din, built at the start of the Human Covenant War. It's also where Din got his SPI armor, which makes me wonder if it was built as a testing facility for SPI specifically. But because Din knew about this place, that means that Eratus does as well, and as Din's flare dies, Eratus powers up the facility, revealing himself to have control of the facility and all its systems and knowledge, meaning the AI and also the Banished now have access to the entire history of the Spartan program, in particular its weaknesses and its failures. And as he announces this in a typical supervillain style, he begins animating the empty set of SPI in the armor stand, making it twitch and come to life in a really creepy and disassociated kind of way, revealing his hologram on the visor. Now, that was the end of the cutscene, but that's not all. It also seems as though Eratus has complete control of the wargame simulations for the Academy and has corrupted them. When you load into the featured playlist, Big Team Battle Limited, all the maps are covered in like that Eratus corruption that we saw in Escalation Slayer before. However, that actually might be because the featured mode is Big Team Escalation. Either way, it syncs up with the narrative, so I thought I'd mention it. So, Eratus now has complete control of a secret-only Section 3 Spartan facility beneath the Academy, which is a location that was designed to be kept off any map during this created Banished era of the galaxy. And not only that, but he and the Banished now have access to literally any piece of information they could possibly want about the Spartan program. And given that the Spartans are humanity's best bet in the fight against the Banished, that doesn't bode too well for us. Now, quick heads up, I'm about to talk about a certain leaked, very long overdue fan favorite game mode, so if you don't want any spoilers for this game mode, then just skip forward to the timestamp on screen right now. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, it also seems like Eratus has control of the Academy's training simulators as well, given that the infected in Infection are literally Spartan husks with a cool-looking Eratus hologram covering them. Having to wait so ridiculously long for a mode that's as simple at its core as Infection isn't great, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna lie when I say that I think that this is a pretty cool way to have the mode slot into the live service narrative. Welcome back to those who skipped forward. Out of all the different ways View43 have tried to do multiplayer lore over the years, I kind of think the Infinite's way is probably the best they've done. The way they've integrated maps into the story makes them feel like more than just multiplayer arenas. They feel like actual locations with purpose and meaning that goes beyond their walls. Even maps that I find as boring as Livefire, at least layout-wise, have that little extra flair of intrigue to them now that we know that there's a mine shaft hidden behind this inconspicuous-looking door that leads to an only Section 3 facility that was hidden deep beneath this training facility that at first seemed like a rather innocent UNSC facility. Man, take a shot every time I said facility. Don't do that, that will not end well, I do not condone that. More beneath the surface storytelling is one of my favourite styles of storytelling, and I really like how they've used it with this story. But where does the story go from here, I hear you ask? Well, I think things are about to get rather messy. Like I said earlier, the Avery J. Johnson Academy of Military Science was built specifically to remain hidden in the era of mass galactic surveillance. But now that Eratus has control of it, I don't think it's going to stay hidden for very long. And with the rumours of Firefight coming to Infinite at some point soon, I think it's quite obvious where this is going. This might be a long shot, but would it be a surprise to anyone if, as the Banished begin invading the Academy world, Firefight is added as a mode with a map that's set in the Academy, a map that they've already shown willingness to reuse for a whole load of different purposes, to act as a kind of narrative integrated Firefight map? To me, that makes a whole load of sense. We already know that the Banished love to repurpose human tech. I mean, hell, this entire story kicked off with them breaking down human ships on Camber to reuse their materials for their own devices. So, if Eratus informs the Banished command that he has control of a literal Spartan testing facility that is likely packed full of powerful experimental tech, Mjolnir included, they'll be there in a heartbeat to plunder it. So, can we expect a full Banished invasion of the Academy that leads into Infinite's first PvE narrative event? Well, given the scope of content that this game's gotten so far, I'd say that's a massive long shot. But on the same note, if you ask me, I think it lines up. I just hope that they keep up the intrigue with this story more so than anything. What we've had so far, I mean, well, okay, not counting Season 2 because that was awful, but Season 3 onwards has been really good at portraying intrigue and mystery. I also really like the framing of these cutscenes as well. Not just full of intrigue, but rather creepy as well. And the twitchy movement of the SPI armor when Eratus takes control of it was really cool. It almost reminded me of like stop motion or claymation in a way. So, what are your thoughts? Where do you think the story's gonna go from here? Let me hear it down below in the comments. I want to give a massive thank you to my amazing patrons, as per usual. Thank you all so much, and thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.